Haul the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for Divanarchy, and interface with the couch in space. We are coming to you from the past. We hit a wormhole. As we know it, it's Friday night. I understand it's probably Sunday for their guys. You and your present, our future. So we are broadcasting from the past. Send us your lottery numbers or pertinent information. Speaking of pertinent information, you want to check out our advertiser this week, brand new. It is Tiger Squawk Records. You want to check out the new EP from Crudmouth. Punk rock from me and Corey from Toronto. You want to check out Club Ovator's Translator. It's so crunchy. It's peanut butter crunchy. Delirious, one of my favorite Prince songs ever, got covered by the Gothsicles. Melting Rust Opera, the single for The Updates. You want to check out the 3 singles from new signing Sega Lugosi. The full length from Melting Rust Opera, Rise and Fall of Fleshwire, is crazy. Varsity Gore from Israeli, it's poppy, it's weird. And Eternal Merch Girl from Aaliyah Synesthesia is just hauntingly beautiful. Animal Songs from the Gothsicles is out now. I think it's our best. Putting the Stars Right, the charity compilation to benefit the Lovecraft Arts and Sciences Council. Ladies and gentlemen, my guests tonight have been here for the longest consecutive time on any space couch because we hit Tachyon stream and lost all our feed. Data was wiped from existence like it never happened. We hit a twist in the fabric of space where time becomes a loop, where time becomes a loop, where time becomes a loop. So we're going to loop back once around again and get the electronic information edutainment from our guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Red Hour. What's going on, guys?
Hey, Brian.
Hey, elbow, wrist, beat for beat. We're just going to hit it. Let's just get this not out of the way. We're going to focus on it. Cracks is out now. The awesome single with your first release track and a bunch of great remixes. Tell us about this album.
Well, we've described it as femme forward. So, and that's actually a term that he came up with because I was like, what about feminist? And he's like, what about femme forward? And I was like, yay, I love it. And that's really at the heart of what all that is and what that single is. Mm-hmm. It's a story of a 20-something-year-old BDSM, like a mistress who's really struggling with the dynamics of she's a professional dom, her job, power roles, and have and have not, and all these different, not just male, female, or masculine, feminine dynamics, but just power dynamics in general in the world. So it's awesome. Forward.
I saw that description. I thought that was really classy, and I liked the way that it sort of locks into the concept of the initial track. Out now, you want to check out the redhour.net to get the new super jam at Past the Gym Test jam for the Red Hour. Let's take a listen to that. This is going to be the original and sort of an unexpected take from a really cool name.
But it's all just a goddamn joke. 'Cause the cracks are beginning to show on the pavement under the snow. And these same fall winters are sure to make us do crazy things. The cracks are beginning to show on the pavement under the snow. And these same fall winters are sure to make us do crazy things.
Something I can just only say for Picasso, bondage, and He brought
Love it.
all of that and more with Shiva.
Kali. But yeah,
Kali, why did I say Shiva? Oh,
it's an easy mistake, I
I
think.
need more coffee, guys.
Well, a it's always daylight somewhere when you're flying through space. The clips we just heard were the original track, super smooth and deadly, and something a different take from a big fancy name, Jean-Luc Lederman, who you might know from Front 242, Fat Gadget, Leatherman. We learned on the last taping. I'll pretend that I came up with it. For
Why doesn't he have a project called Letterman? Peterman. I mean,
like a high school varsity letterman. Like
yeah.
it's just it's
That would be
him doing like really gnarly industrial covers of like high school fight songs. Um,
You can do it.
Oh, if anyone could do it, Jean-Marc could.
well,
That's for sure.
gnarly industrial he did not do. Took this in a complete, what would you say, jazz fusion sort of record?
Future jazz.
Future jazz. I love it.
Future jazz.
Well, we're
And I
sending
have
this
to
to the
say-
future, so it's only
Yeah,
appropriate that.
As one does.
Like we just during the pandemic, we watched all the Star Treks ever, and we were just watching like around the same time that we got his first mix of that. We had just finished watching DS9,
Mm.
and I was like, "Wow, I feel like a hologram in Vic's show."
It's totally Vic. Or
Oh
that.
my gosh, I feel like I'm guest starring at Vic Fontaine's thing. Like, I don't know. I didn't even know what he was gonna do. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna do something really different with it," and I was like, "Go do whatever you want."
That's awesome.
I love you. You're amazing. And yeah, no. So now I feel like I'm a hologram on DS9 in that track.
I love it.
Apparently, they're very fond of big beat burlesque remixes in the future.
Or that one weird
You're
one where
gonna
they
love
go
this
to
on
like they go to the mirror universe and Vic Fontaine's like a dude. Like he's not a hologram, he's just like
Yes, I remember that.
and so like now it's
Oh.
not only is it Vic, but it's like off the page, like it's
That
real
was
and
so good. I know. And then he had like all these problems too. Wasn't he being chased by gangsters?
yeah,
yeah.
he was I think he dies like it's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the mirror universe is great for murdering characters with no consequences.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone kind of wants someone to go, but
Right.
killing them on the regular show is not a thing. So
Well,
yeah.
speaking of various multitudes of yourself, like the Mirror Universe, the remixes on this album are multifaceted and wide-ranging. We have some really great takes on your track. We were talking about hearing your remix for the first time with Planet Damage last week. It's one of the coolest moments I have personally when I get to hear somebody redo one of my songs for the first time. I was wondering if you could take us through some of the journeys you might have had listening to remixes on this album for the first time.
There's quite a
Yeah.
broad spectrum of stuff. I mean, the first 4 tracks, including our own, are all very dance floor friendly, and then after that they get a little more abstract.
Experimental.
And then of course we get into the
Yeah.
Lederman track, so yeah, the once you get to Profiai's track, it's quite a bit more deconstructed and
Oh, I just love that.
orchestral almost, but in sort of like that
Soundtracky.
huge, expansive, skinny puppy sort of way. He's real. Michael Diedel's really, really good, and then Jason Goodrich, aka Bad Rich. Wow.
And Stephen Olaf. I mean, he's kind of at the beginning of the experimental, moving into experimental.
It's still
Through
solidly
it.
danceable.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. But Stephen Olaf, like all of them, really. And Brian, we once discussed this before, but I feel like until my vocals have cycled through various different remixes, I feel like I don't really know how to sing a song until I hear it from someone else's perspective and they reflect it back, their version of it back to me. I feel like remixers teach me
Oh wow,
what the possibilities are and how to really
fascinating.
different approaches to a piece.
It's like this social sonar where you're bouncing it off somebody to get it
Yeah.
back, and then like reinterpreting that information. Yeah, like we were saying previous, like it's Like
Yeah.
I know where my voice should fall, and then it
Yeah.
sounds super wrong to me. Like if I hear it in a remix, and then okay, now I see what you're doing there. I got you now. Like and I would have never thought to do X Y Z or
Yeah.
time it out that way.
Yeah.
You really do
Yeah.
learn a lot. That's such a it's an interesting idea.
It's like you say, fascinating to just see how different people who are really good at what they do,
Hmm.
what they decide to do with it.
Right.
Diddle, for example, he switched the choruses and the verses.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
It was
It's
really,
always a fun move.
and I just like to hear other people's
Right.
ideas.
How did you put together this bucket of Legos? Like, very fascinating. Um, d-
Oh,
uh,
remixers?
what's that?
Yeah, it is a bit like that.
The well, with such a strong opening salvo, when might we expect the full length EP?
I would say winter and probably December, January, February
Hmm.
next year at the latest.
Right.
But I mean, it might be as early as just late November or just early as December-ish. But you know how these things are, and if you
Right.
really want to create something extraordinary and beautiful, you have to just take your time with it and not skimp and
Very
not
true.
rush. And fortunately, the pandemic has allowed a lot of us artists to not rush for a change.
Or not
Yeah,
shower, for that matter.
and to really just process what material is and try to make it the very best it can be.
For sure.
I will say that the pandemic has afforded us the luxury of creating and taking our time, which is like an all-time first. Usually it's like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, I have to be at my job, but let me just finish this third vocal take.
Right.
You know,
That's all I got time for.
yeah,
It's
like
good
gotta
enough.
go. I guess I'll cut more when I get home if it's not working. But in this scenario, and because we now have manual control in our own place to record, but thankfully we got in here right before the pandemic. So I'm just feel like for the first time in my life, I've been able to just take my time and not rush and not feel
Oh,
like
that's
a
awesome.
huge, yeah. So it might be a little bit later this year,
Hmm.
and I'm really excited about it.
Okay. Well, you reference St. Paul Winters specifically in the
Yes.
opening track, so that would certainly be apropos. But you could defy expectations too. Basically, win-win. Because in this scenario, we got a new Red Hour EP, so how can you not win? Um,
And you'll see a lot of St. Paul in the video for Cracks.
hell yeah, love it,
Yeah.
love it. Uh,
Yeah.
St. Paul.
Yeah.
Historically, the focus has been on Minneapolis, but
True.
St. Paul's got it going
It's a lovely town. It's kind of the Shelbyville of,
on.
of the Twin Cities, but it's there's a lot of wonderful, beautiful architecture and
Mm.
industry. It's a proper city with its own personality and wonders in its own right. So it's pretty cool.
Yes. And it's just so underrated, I should say, because I mean, you've got these buildings that were built at the turn of the century mixed with like newer modern buildings and really cool, weird venues. Theaters. There was so much vaudeville and so much theater in St. Paul. I don't know about now, but I know at least in the 1990s, we had more theaters per capita in between Minneapolis and St. Paul than New York.
No kidding.
Which is wild. I don't know if that's still true, but when I moved here in the 90s, I went to go work for one of the theaters, and they actually basically were like, this is our legacy here.
Wow.
So St. Paul was very about theater, very about vaudeville, very about orchestra, very about the arts, and kind of like it kind of became an older people's city for a long time, and a lot of the younger folks moved to Minneapolis who grew up there. But one of the first places I lived when I moved here in 1994 was St. Paul, and then I lived there again about a decade ago, for about half a decade. So I kind of know all the secret places. I'm going to take you guys to them in that
Awesome.
video.
Hey, awesome. I'm
Really
looking forward to
excited.
that
This
then.
guy hooked it up for sure.
Well,
this guy.
we are definitely fans of the mighty Jason Hollis here on Space Couch.
Stop.
I do what I want. I'm space. No rules. You touched on this briefly, and I definitely want to make sure we do an orbit around this on the flying divan here. Manual Control Records, uh, the home of not only the Red Hour but the purview of our guests today. Tell us what's up with Manual. We got into a little bit with Jason last year, but it seems like it's going
Yeah.
great.
Basically, we had stuff that we'd been working on, like the third Endif album, which was our first release, and finally, after 13 years. And then,
Anyway,
speaking of taking your time,
good things take time. Don't skimp
Right.
ever.
so we had stuff in the pipe, and then back catalog stuff,
Yeah.
and then future stuff like Sunday.
Hey.
So it was simply logical, especially once the pandemic hit, to take our copious amounts of free time and not go insane, and turn that into
and create
into
something.
And a vehicle for all that stuff.
And to hopefully use it as a platform to support other local artists, and especially younger artists who, there's not a lot of, there's always, as you know, Brian, I mean, large independent acts that have decent followings get looked at by labels, but there's a lot of unsigned and independent talent that just
not even a lot, just like a lot, just giant whales.
Yeah, and especially here locally. I mean, I think our first release later, when we start, working with other artists, is probably going to be Profi.
He's from LA, but
Cool.
there's a lot of stuff going on around here that I'm sure we can leverage. I don't want to speculate.
Yeah, right. But I mean, case in point, when I was younger, I would have felt so much better about everything. Like, I mean, from the TC Electropunk comps, we weren't getting coverage in the media. Electronic in 1999 to 2002 here, there just was like nothing.
It's nothing.
Papers didn't want to write about the kids and what we were doing, and like that's why those comps happened, is because literally there wasn't just. I mean, I was lucky because I wound up on a smaller label called Circe and Corda, which was one of the first digital online labels here.
Oh, cool.
So I already had been there. But there was like literally nothing middle of the road where there was actual support. So like what we want to do is y'all keep all your rights. Everybody, keep your licensing, do all your things, and like we'll give you networks, we'll give you radio contacts at college radio, we'll promote you. But it's called manual control because you are still in charge of what you do and what your success is. No, we're just here to support you and to give you an audience that maybe you haven't found yet, hopefully.
More of a generator and less of an exploiter.
Yes. No exploiting, please. No exploiting.
Well, yeah, like you're taking the good parts, like we kind of got into a bit, and this society, if you will, and the digital world allows you to do that. It's not like we're shipping crates of product to Best Buy or whatever. But
not today.
Not so much.
And kind of thank goodness, because I mean, if you think about all the plastic involved,
it's a lot.
Different planet right now.
Well,
Earth collapsed.
Pardon?
Under all the plastic. That's why we're on a different planet right now, because Earth collapsed under all the plastic.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I try to avoid Earth if I can, generally. Like, my parents still live there. Like, every Thanksgiving, I'm like, I gotta be away. We went over. Let me know if this is like too much to do again, because I know we just did it in the episode that I forgot to record. But like,
it was the tachyons, man.
Yeah, we got into a little bit of just you guys are in Minneapolis, St. Paul area, obviously, and like I cannot ask just because that location has been in the public eye quite a bit for reasons.
All the wrong reasons.
All the wrong reasons, and if you could
I mean, the proper response to.
Yes.
Sometimes
what happened is what happened.
Yes.
I mean, people literally rose up. Like one time,
was something else.
One of the days, there were literally 20,000 people coming up this street and 20,000 more coming up this street, literally 3 or 4 blocks away.
Yes.
And just like tens of thousands of people surrounding our neighborhood.
Wow.
And then like Lake Street, where all bad stuff was filmed, all the stuff you saw on your TV.
Yes, yeah.
That's 4 blocks that way.
Right.
So,
yeah. We were definitely in the thick of it.
It was.
And like, power to the people.
Yeah.
Like, I have to, because I mean, I come from a family that is multiracial, obviously, or maybe not. I guess people who don't know me don't know that, but power to the people, because we in America, this is America, we cannot tolerate this level of racism and bigotry. It's not okay, and it's just it was so heartbreaking to me personally that I wanted to just pack my stuff and never come back. I've lived in the city, minus a handful of winters, since 1994. I think I've been away 4 winters total, and like gone to LA or whatever. And I've never wanted to just outright run. And it's nice that I'm glad Chauvin rightfully was convicted and, well, I should say found guilty. We're still finding out what the actual conviction's going to be. Yeah, the length of time of sentence. But they found him guilty on all counts, and it should, thank goodness, because
this place was catch fire again. Yeah. It was going to be way worse.
It would be like Atlanta in Gone with the Wind. Rightfully so, if justice or accountability, at least.
Yeah.
If accountability had not happened.
For sure.
And so, it's just been a crazy to see. This is the 21st century, Brian.
Yeah, right.
In space cars, and racism should not exist anymore at all.
Well,
even classism. Let's get rid of it already.
Yeah, we've
surpassed communism.
What's that?
I'm into that.
But so I mean, if you'd asked yesterday or the day before how things were around here, I probably would have said improving. But they shot another African American man trying to take him in for something, and simultaneously, like that was that evening, and that same morning they cleared out all the stuff that was the entire memorial that was George Floyd Square. Double whammy led to some shenanigans again last night from some rightfully angry people. So hopefully things don't get too bad and the city finally does something right for once. But I'm not going to hold my breath. So we'll see.
And if they don't, Brian, I'm going to get on a transporter and come up there.
Yeah, hang out. We got
move to your planet.
Sweet.
Your ship. If this goes askew again, we out.
Yeah, we'll set you up on Space Ottoman. It'll be, Space Love Seat or one of those.
Space Love Couch.
Yeah, Space Barca Lounger.
B-52s. No.
Well, that's a different video. Jason, what can we expect from the Red Hour? Excuse me. We are talking to Red Hour. What can we expect from the EDT camp?
Probably nothing much anytime soon. I put everything I had into that third album, Falling in the Sky.
Right.
And but there's one new track coming out sometime soon on Point Source Recordings, and as part of a compilation CD or release or whatever. And it's called Recreational Asbestos. Is the track I turned in.
I've heard it.
it's I would say it's aptly titled.
Very cool.
So it's definitely a return to the angry grinding thing. But anyway, so there's that. Not end of stuff that I'm doing. Retcon, which is probably it's kind of a retro industrial thing with its boots firmly planted in 1988.
Hell yeah.
And, basically,
take me away. All gone.
There's a 4-song EP basically done.
Awesome, man.
A few vocals that need to be tracked
for Retcon.
For Retcon, yeah. Mm-hmm. But the cover art's done. I just have to finish up.
Oh, that's got to feel pretty good.
Finally accept that it is good and done. So sort of a wax tracksy sort of that sort of thing.
It's always 1988.
Oh yeah.
What's that piece of it like for you specifically? Going, okay, this is done. It's done. It's done. I swear it's done. Like, do
Yeah.
you
I've actually,
final underscore 2?
yeah, I actually am pretty good about that
Okay.
once there, like accepting that it's done.
Okay.
Once, like, this is in the place. But it takes me forever.
That is like an X-Men
I'm
power.
not
That's pretty
good at
awesome.
that.
That's okay.
I'm not good at that.
It means
Yeah.
we put it into some better
I'm
stuff.
not good at that, and I'm hiding.
It's all right.
Hiding.
It's kind of like with the remixes earlier, right? You like what you were saying about not knowing how to sing it live until you
Yeah.
how
Oh,
it's interpreted, to tie that back around.
Mhm.
You know,
okay.
having other people permute it like that can really
Cool,
make
man.
a difference.
Yeah.
Getting it done faster, and that's one of the things that you tend to do creatively is permute things and try them and check them
Experiment.
and zhuzh. So
Yeah.
definitely a good
And be
balance.
neurotic about
Yeah.
between vocals and all the nerdy stuff that no one here really wants to hear about.
I'm
Except
glad,
for like us, maybe, and you.
Yeah.
I'm glad more about making the vocal sausage because I wouldn't have thought to go through and do a lot of the stuff that you've taught me how to do. So that's pretty cool.
Wait, are you just doing? Because we got into this a little bit in this pocket dimension from which we've just come.
Mhm.
Um, Speaking of you and vocals, we're gonna get a little taste of Jason coming
Yes.
up on some releases.
Yes.
Of course, coming out on Manual Control Records. Where can we check out more Manual Control Records stuff?
Manualcontrol.net.
Manualcontrol.net, everybody. Tell us about your forays into vocals.
So it started with her encouraging me and helping me with doing vocals on some of the Red Hour stuff, or backing vocals on some of the Red Hour stuff. And
I was like, may I interrupt for 1 second?
Please.
I was like, why aren't you singing more? You have
because I
tone.
suck.
Oh, stop.
Y'all suck in the beginning.
Because I had no training, and it sounds like
No.
So
You have good
eventually I
tone.
got over it more and started working on this stuff. First the retcon, which is we all know industrial vocals are.
Yeah,
gonna be,
well, because you used to do them on Up From Ashes and stuff
Some
like
of the
that.
end of
like on the first End of album, there was some vocal stuff like Sleeper Cell and whatever, but it was literally just screaming into a microphone that I was holding wrong. So so that was a thing. This is a bit more of a, gosh. It's still that industrial guy thing, but I'm not screaming, I'm not yelling, I'm not fucking angry. I feel like that's...
And he's telling a science fiction story.
Yep.
Love it.
One of the tracks is...
Sucker for a narrative.
Tell him where it's set, though.
So basically, Blink is about one of the guys... You've seen the movie War Games, right?
Hell yeah.
In the 80s, right? So that first scene where they're in the bunker, the two dudes... They go into the missile silo, and then there's a test, and they fail the test, and the guy, turn your key, sir.
Right.
That whole scene, just imagine it's one dude, and he's in love with his counterpart in Russia, and he imagines that the way that they conduct their love affairs through launching nuclear weapons at each other. So
that's awesome.
That's the song.
Yeah.
So that's...
Also, I can only think of Sing Sing Sputnik.
There's another one in that.
Oh, right. But dude, that's a movie. That's awesome.
Right? I kind of like the video for that is going to be some.
Oh, we're doing a video
Can
for
I
it.
swear in
Oh,
this?
there's absolutely a video.
Okay.
Are we censored here?
No, say whatever you want.
That's some shit.
Awesome.
Like when he first told me about the idea, I could see all of it.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
When I started seeing a video or seeing something visually, that's my cue. Like then you have something like that.
Totally.
Yep.
So that's
Sweet.
Retcon. That's coming out soon on Manual Control, but we have another vocal foray. Of
So
this
I
popular variety.
In the absence of anything else in this vacuum of space of pandemicness, I had plenty of time to think, feel,
Create though.
Yes, there it is.
processing the horrors of the last 10 years or whatever, 30, 40, 50 years, the horrors of the last 50 years,
A
and
lifetime.
into some art stuff that was more understandable as such. So really depressing synth pop songs.
Okay, love it.
So I actually try and sing on the. I I sing. I'm going to accept it and say
Hell
it.
yes. Hell yes.
So.
Finally.
Oh,
yeah.
looking forward to that. And what's that going to be called?
False Shadows.
False Shadows. Also on
That's
manual
Project.
control, I take it.
And
Yeah.
the title is one more time.
I don't have a title for the album yet.
Well.
No, for that single. Love for the single.
Oh, the other one?
Yes, that we were just.
Oh, that was Blink.
Blink.
Yeah, we'll check that out from Retcon, or excuse me, False Shadows. And
we're merging two things here, so.
It all swirls around here in the cosmic void.
That's all right. It's
Tachyons again.
Tachyons. Tachyon. Let's zoom back out to the Red Hour. If like the thing of the Red Hour like was an animal, what would that animal be?
Ooh, solid question, Brian.
I'd have to say a tiny, bald, blind chihuahua, but I'm taking on Mom, so it's all good. What do you think, babe?
I'm going to say a. Can I think about this now? A cardinal and a panther.
Yes.
It's not one animal. It's too tiny. It's
totally legal.
But the panther is actually really nice.
Okay.
And takes care of the cardinal.
Oh yeah. Okay, now I got it.
I'd watch that Pixar movie.
There you go. Well, not only that, but they're on color brand. So like.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, that's a perfect answer. All right, sweet.
The video for Cracks is going to be mostly reds and blacks anyway. So
True.
Come to think
so
of it.
like yeah, that's
Back to the cover art.
my author and Punisher cover band is Cardinal and Panther, but
oh, nice. Nice. I love that.
What will you be building to make it realistic?
Yeah, right. No, we'll be just constructing. Well, it'd have to be something like Minneapolis-ish, so it'll be just like outdoor.
So it'll be made out of brewery components.
There you go.
Dear Lord. There's so many breweries here now. It's wild.
And it'll have an intersection that goes really sharply off the highway for some reason. Yeah, right. The we'll stay in. We do like our weird hypotheticals here on Space Couch. If the Red Hour were like a pro wrestling tag team, what might your like signature finishing move be?
We got this. We got this.
You got this. It's all you.
I do?
It's all you.
Oh, let's think about this.
It's all yours, brother.
Stiletto to the neck.
Just straight maim.
But I'll go to the hospital and visit afterwards.
Oh yeah, you're not a monster. But
I promise. I'll be to the hospital. I'll come by to see you.
Just
with a
straight.
Very, very nice gift basket.
I'll hug you because the pandemic's almost over too.
See, you gotta take a shoe to the jugular, but you get that
it's in contract.
Right, you gotta do it, and they'll like visit you, and you can play Super Mario Brothers in the.
I would totally play Super Mario Brothers with them after that.
Yeah, I mean it's just.
To ask you, have you seen The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke?
Yeah,
Brian?
yeah.
Oh man, that movie was so believable and
crazy.
So good.
Like
so good, so heartbreaking that film is.
Yeah, I felt, and not even because we were just talking about Deep Space Nine, but maybe because we were like, but I'm a fan of that show, and for some reason I always pictured like they call cut and the scene ends and everybody takes off their makeup, but for whatever reason Nana Visitor just lives as that character in my mind.
Yes.
Same way with like Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. Like I feel like he's that dude. Like he actually goes back and sleeps in that Suburban with DVDs of him from the 80s.
He seems. I followed him on Instagram some years back, kind of after. I think it was right after I saw The Wrestler, because I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it when it finally got released. And he was on Instagram, and I followed him, and he is just like, he loves dogs,
Nice.
especially Chihuahuas, and he's just such a sweet seeming person. I mean, I'm sure he had his issues back when,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us, saw scandal sheets at the grocery store from time to time, but
Yeah.
but he just seems like such a sweet person.
Well,
And I mean, poor him. He had to go through being labeled a sex symbol and then try to live up to that. I mean, we're all just normal human beings.
it's gonna be like it's got to be a doozy to be like, I guess I'm this guy. No.
One portrayed as being really one-dimensional, and that's
Right.
not cool.
Yeah.
Check out The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke.
Yeah,
And,
sorry, I kind of sidetracked. But
I forget, super famous actress that plays his daughter. She was the vampire queen in
oh yeah,
True Blood, and
yes.
is now mad at Marilyn Manson.
Who isn't?
Sorry.
There is a move, I don't know what it is, but I think there's a wrestling move called the elevator shaft, and you could alternately have the elevator operator as your move.
We
Ryan.
did not just do that.
I see what you're doing here.
We
I see
determined
where
that I've
you're
heard your
going with this.
old band's track, elevator operator 1,000 times because I had that sampler just kind of living in the glove box of my mom's Toyota Previa.
Oh, nice. And you know what? I'll just say really quickly, almost all the bands that were on that are still making music today. They might have been band names. Yeah, like Avon Pitch, Thosquanta.
Love
like
it.
they all stayed doing stuff. Like the comp stopped, I think, like what, 7 or 8 years ago? Because there were like a ton of them. It ran, I think, up until like 9 or something.
Wow.
Yeah. Or at least 7 or 8, I think. I don't know if I'm just remembering rumblings of 8, but at least until 7.
Nice.
And like all those people who are in all those bands, almost all of them are still doing stuff now.
That's great.
And like I'm pretty proud of everybody who was on those original couple, the first 2 comps, because they've stayed working hard and they've figured it out,
Yeah, much love to Minneapolis and Thosquanta, who's a gothsicle after a few shows
Yes.
at Red
Adam.
Sea. Adam, and
Oh,
then we did a gig in La Crosse at the legendary Warehouse, which was super cool.
Seen a show there, but everyone's like,
I've heard about it.
yeah, it is in fact legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flyers on the walls you could charge admission for, like Chem Lab 92. What? Like,
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy. Speaking of live shows, you guys planning on doing such things for Cracks or the upcoming winter EP?
We're probably gonna do like a filmed set.
Awesome.
Like from the studio. At some point coming up, we need to finish the video. We have a lot of editing to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Cracks?
For Cracks.
Okay.
Mhm. But I think when we get done with that, then we're gonna look at doing like a live set here in the studio. And a lot of the Twitch feeds that say, like, he did a Twitch tour when his record came out on different, shows.
Yeah,
the way you could.
It was great because he was in Denver, he was in Wisconsin, he was in
Seattle,
like
all
Seattle,
over the place.
Boston. I mean, you could, during the pandemic, you could just tour by getting
Right. I did it.
localized Twitch streams. That's probably not going to happen for us realistically now, but there are still a handful of DJs who are going to continue streaming and having some club nights are also now staying on Twitch and going online permanently.
Nice.
So, I mean, it's probably not going
to.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be like as easy to do, but we're definitely going to do at least one live PA.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, not only should DJs play that Cracks track because it's great, we look forward to seeing that live. Both of you are obviously.
Got some ideas. I got some ideas.
Always do.
No stranger to the live show, either of you. We of course want to check out that Cracks record at theredhour.net. Swing by manualcontrolrecords.net. While you're
manual control.
I don't do manual control records, do manual control. Just think of that.
It's confusing because our hashtag is manual control records.
Okay.
Because manual control was long taken, but the actual, it's just manualcontrol.net. We got lucky and it wasn't taken. So
Well, we're just gonna shove in Star Trek references like tribbles into crevices. Just think of him yelling manual control at the end of Insurrection when he flies it like a video game for some reason.
yeah.
And through the briar patch. All right. Um, all right,
That's where we got our
everybody.
band name from, in all honesty.
Every scene in every movie where they switch to manual control.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the Red Hour actually was the title came from Return of the Archons. In original series.
Oh,
they
wow.
Where everyone just goes effing crazy and like people.
It's actually at
just
6 o'clock.
Yeah, it's at 6 o'clock.
p.m.
Yeah, yeah, and like it's kind of wild because they arrive on this planet, everything seems super normal, and then all this craziness happens, and that's kind of like how the whole last year has felt to all of us, I think, with the pandemic.
So the Red Hour is kind of like a reference, I mean, explicitly to Star Trek, but
a tiny nod.
This idea of sudden peril or craziness or awesome.
Well, and sudden danger.
Sudden danger. Very cool.
The other thing too is their two extremes were mind-controlled zombies being operated more or less by a computer, and total hedonistic, crazy psychopaths doing wacky stuff. So that dichotomy is very The St. Paul Winters will make you do crazy things.
Yes.
Being one of the lyrics. So
but manual control,
definitely.
Manual control is a phrase used in science fiction a lot. We're Brian. I mean, you're one of us, so you know.
Hex.
Our work is riddled with it. I mean, because that's who we are, and we love you because you're into that too.
Well,
for sure.
Plus, if Riker spent like $60 on like one of those really nice arcade controllers, he's kind of like looking for an opportunity to use it, like just wedging it in. Maybe this would be a good time for manual control. Not now, dude, but like, Picard was off the ship in that scene, so manual control time.
You need to have a Star Trek trivia at some point.
Yes, we do. I tapped out at Voyager, but my wife's really into it, so like we gotta go on that journey.
Play as a team.
Yeah, just
okay, sweet.
It out so you can say you've seen all of them.
Thank you.
It does better as it goes on. It took me a while to sort of like connect with those characters. Same with DS9. At first, I was
totally right. Kira's crying every 6 seconds and like
interesting.
What's that?
I was just saying with DS9, it took me like 3 seasons to believe it.
Yeah, I mean,
I still liked it.
That's kind of the Star Trek curve, right? Like the first season's a little bit out the window, and then you go like, all right, okay, I like that guy or whatever it is after all. But
have you seen Discovery?
We did the first season.
It gets so good.
Does it get good? Because it wasn't.
A lot of people like to whine about it because of some departures from their perceived ideas of canon, but it really is one of the best Star Treks ever.
Good to know, because like it was better than a sharp stick in the eye, as my dad would say. But like I'm not scrambling for season.
It takes a season and a half, I think. And then oh my god.
Well, we have space right in the name of Space Couch, so. All the hot Star Trek talk here. Well, you've made a case for Discovery season 2, which hex yes, let's try that out. We'll do a little Babylon 5 talk. Who knows? But
that's next time.
Next time. Well, the Red Hour, you are definitely welcome to come back to plug whatever these St. Paul Winters bring us in terms of new EP. We are on a flying rogue flight path. We're on a rogue flight path. The path itself is not flying, but we're on it. And I'm going to bring this flying divan back on into the station. Anything you want to toss out to our Space Couch viewing audience?
We appreciate you.
I appreciate you too,
Mr. Host, but also you guys. You have the best viewers. They're so interesting.
Well.
And like they're very intelligent people from what I can tell. I mean, I've watched a couple of the shows. I've seen the threads and the comments, and I just also I personally, of course, I watched your interview with this guy, but I've watched a couple of other episodes too. And just, I think you have a really wonderful and intelligent viewership. And like he's been on before, but this is my first time. And I just wanted to say, like, thank you. And we're all going to get through this together. Like,
even Mommy, who you could probably hear barking.
Oh, well, we do those. What a great sentiment. No one has ever thanked the viewers before. So thank you on behalf of our future viewers. And we always love having Space Couch present. Thank you for completing another lap around the sun here, you guys. We got it. We got it all this time. So this is Brian for Brooke, for Jason, for the Red Hour, for Space Couch, saying, call the spaceship to Davenport, prepare for Devanaki, and interface with the couch in space. All right. Okay. All is copacetic. I like to keep the ending banter here over the credits.
I just feel like that was so much more comfortable. I'm so out of practice.
Yeah,
I'm actually glad we had a second.
Thank you guys so much for being so cool. Just talk about your hardcore and run into your mouth like, oh no. But no, that was flowed like electrons off of the front deflector shield.
Cool. I was gonna say too, I just wanted to tell you, you're such a good front person.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, like one front person to another. You're such a front person.
You.
And I've seen a couple of other live clips, but the Helsinki thing, I was like, man, he's working the whole room.
Yeah, well,
dude.
It was a theater in Helsinki, and they made this giant video game thing about it, and it's just me and my Finnish buddy. Like, it's electronic music. It's not like no one's watching me like bust out an awesome scorching solo on the guitar or something. So yeah, you really got to go.
That's the deal with the electronic. Better be fucking interesting.